Striving for competitiveness is striving for prosperity. In the heat of global competition, human capital is the differentiator of nations.
The caliber of employees you have, really, at the end of the day, is what determines the performance of the enterprise. You will have your strategic plans, you will have your budgets, you will have the plan to deliver, but at the end of the day, by and large, it is delivered by people on the job.
And so if somebody denies you education, they have denied you everything. But if somebody gives you education, they have given you everything except a ticket to heaven.
In Kenya, everything is at stake for thousands of students unable to raise money for their education. Will they become the next victims of an economic dispensation that is swallowing the unprepared?
By the time I finished my secondary school education, I had a balance of almost 100,000. I was working at a workshop. I was paid 200 shillings per day. I used to save that money to reduce the fee balance that I had.
Personally, I'm visually impaired, that's being a person with disability in that special sector. And my parents were unable to help raise the funds considering that we reliant on my dad, my mom being a stroke survivor since then. She's been unable to go to work. So we are mostly dependent on my dad, and in my case, we have 3 siblings from home who all depend on him. So it became a bit challenging for him to raise the funds to see me through the bar exams.
The story of Samson and Reina is a reality of tens of thousands of students across the country.
We have a funding gap of about 4.9 billion. If actually we don't get a form of financial intervention, this year only, we are looking at about 94,000 students who have already expressed interest in terms of being funded, going without any funding for this year.
At the Higher Education Loans Board, we are reimagining our vision of universal higher education financing in Kenya, reaching out to different partners who share in this vision.
We are happy that the government has identified education as a priority in this country. So we get some good resources coming our way, but they are not adequate. And we have looked at it. We are in a program where we want also to partner. We look around, who else can support this kind of mandate so that each and every Kenyan student can access that education.
Between 2013 and 2021, we mobilized 1.5 billion shillings from 40 partners and enabled 50,000 more students to access higher education.
So we started with a small partner fund of USAID, and we were trying to get into a space that we have never been before, that is educating the healthcare workers, that is the nurses who are, work behind the doctors, because for every doctor you require about 10 nurses. Today we have educated about 38,000 nurses in that category. I'm very happy to report that about 10,000 of that category of healthcare workers have since graduated and now repaying their loans.
Our resource mobilization initiatives target specific sectors of the economy guided by various economic policies. Some of the sectors for which we have mobilized resources include health, maritime, legal, communication, finance, engineering, and water and sanitation. In the health sector, Afya Elimu Fund was set up to increase the number of middle-level health workers in the country.
When we started the college in 2012, we already had a problem knowing that the community we're in might not be able to access or be able to come to this college. So when we made HELB in 2014, for us it was connection the first time, and we made the details. And I remember the following year when we had our graduation, we invited them to come and we handed them a check of 1.2 million shillings. And from that humble beginning, right now we have, I would say, a portfolio with the help of about 24 million shillings.
These students, once they graduate, they're available, as I've said, to provide services, health services in some of the remote areas. Especially when it came to COVID, we saw a demand for health workforce in some of these regions, and the pool was already available. The health workers who had graduated from Afya Elimu were already available.
In partnership with the Kenya Maritime Authority, we are empowering a pool of local experts for the blue economy through the Maritime Education and Training Scheme, or METS Fund.
We aspired to be able to place the blue economy where it's on self-drive, like a fire that can never be put off. And I think we are getting there. That, when you begin to get to see the sector getting integrated into our national economic plans, when you begin to see programs that deliberately target to develop the sector, then you begin to see that the sky is the limit.
The HELB loan imesaidia sana, sio karo tu, hata kwa mitihani. No one can defer or have an excuse of money because HELB has catered everything.
Through our work with the counties and constituencies, we are making higher education financing sustainable and equitable at the local level.
We have tried to recruit more counties and constituencies. And our message to them is, most of them have one form or another of bursary and financing. So we say, why reinvent the wheel when there's already a state institution that can help you do the job?
We have created this fund through some legislation. So there is legislation that guides this particular fund. And we have agreed that we put in 20 million every year. That can be increased. But due to limited funds at the moment, we have agreed at 20 million per year. We want this fund to grow up to 500 million.
As counties, we don't have enough capacity, especially in assessing the needs that we have within the community. As much as we are giving bursaries to students in high school and even in colleges, we have found it a bit challenging.
We realize that some students get inadequate allocations. The needs of that student for accommodation, for feeding, and other books and other things is much more than that. So we thought if we could top up a little as a county through the HELB program, and that's why we have collaborated with the HELB program. Through that program, we can be able to enhance the loan available.
We have also partnered with corporations like Simba Corporation, ABSA, Standard Chartered Bank, Family Bank, and I&M Bank in an ecosystem of shared value.
Formal education is really well established in Kenya, with many universities that have cropped up all over Kenya. Technical education, on the other hand, is not available so well. And if you go back to countries like Germany and Austria, they have a technical program where when kids come out of high school, they either go into the technical side or they go into a more formal side. And we have basically taken that example and trying to use the knowledge that we have and the expertise we have to train young underprivileged kids to become technically efficient. And in this way, by giving them their skills, they can go out and earn a living into the market.
With each beneficiary, we are creating a bigger, brighter promise for generations ahead.
I'm the first person to join college in my family, so I'm proud of it. I'm going to change the story of my family. The school has been supporting me through CHPF funds, and I applied for HELB. I got HELB 3 times now, and it has been of help to me till now.
Rather than one struggling or putting the academics to a pause so that they could go seek for the funds to come back, receipt, or sit down for the exams, then CLE helping with the by-examination funds has been the best way to make it easier for us to finish in due time, to play a role into molding me into who I am currently in my line of profession, that being that it saw me through campus when I was undertaking my law studies, and even now through my post-diploma here at KSL. I'm grateful because it also seen me through my by-exams.
The systems we have built for decades are today working for people and institutions.
If you know anything about HELB, you know they've been there for years. They've done this for years. They have a track record for years about administering this sort of a fund. And therefore, for the Council of Legal Education Fund to be able to benefit from that sort of sustainability and stability from HELB is invaluable to us. I would want to assume that any beneficiary of the fund would feel the responsibility to pay back for purposes of ensuring that the person that comes after you 5 or 10 years would be able to find something there.
The future of our organization is bright in terms of internal mechanisms. We are continuously improving. We have invested heavily on IT. We have a call center so that you don't have to come to anniversary towers. You know, those queues you used to see.
In our vision, what we are looking for is that maybe in another decade or so, we should have, for example, an orphan come to North Coast without anything and is given a loan to invest in his own education, learn and pay back.
Our external resource mobilization journey is proof that coming together breaks walls and builds bridges.
Because of the budgetary constraints at the national level, the gap will always be there. Yeah, because priorities are many, especially at the national level. I realized that. That's why, as a county, we decided to bridge the gap.
Employers work in very close partnership with HELB. We are represented on the HELB board. I sit on the HELB board. And we ensure that people who are working in the formal sector repay the loans that they get from HELB.
For us to onboard a partner, the first thing is we sign a service contract. The service contract will detail the obligation of the funder and the obligation of now HELB as the fund manager. And then we agree on the terms of the engagement, and it's from that the funding usually comes to HELB.
Would you like to help us write the next success story? Drop us a note on partnerships@helb.co.ke and we will be in touch. Higher Education Loans Board, empowering dreams.